Hey guys, welcome to my first theory video. I don't have much to say about it because it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll lay it out for you. First, let me recap Lila and Kagami's relationship. All the way back in season 3, Lila had Kagami's phone number, so they must have known each other before, off-screen. They didn't officially become friends until perfection. Kagami believed Lila that Marinette didn't want to be her friend, so this made her think she wasn't worthy of anyone's friendship and made her want to get away from everyone else. This even got her akumatized. The way Lila manipulated Kagami might also be a reference to how Lila is now able to manipulate the people she akumatizes. There's a popular theory that Aglae is Lila because of the way she encouraged Aurora and Climatiqueen. I personally believe this theory, but anyway, if it's true Aglae is Lila and if you see the similarities between her and Lila when she manipulated Kagami, well, it just makes sense.
You were right, Lila. I checked every box on her friendship test. Marinette doesn't consider me her best friend. I'm not even sure she ever considered me a friend.
Oh no, Kagami, I'm so sorry she didn't see all the efforts you've been making to get closer to her. Someone as amazing as you deserves a more considerate friend, and I'd be honored to be that friend.
Soon you'll have no one left, Marinette. Soon you'll have nothing.
I failed at everything. I didn't get any hearts or new followers in the bee community.
What matters is that you stayed true to yourself. It's almost like to be popular today, you have to lie to stir up controversy. But you, Aurora, you would never be fake or demean yourself by spreading gossip about famous people. It's not worth winning a contest if it means being untrue to yourself, even if it is to get something you really, really want. That's why I'm proud to be your friend.
Going a little off topic, because I really want to talk about that theory that Aglae is Lila. I see a lot of debate about it, whether it's true or not, but like I said earlier, I personally think it's true. I'm not going to talk about all the reasons I think it might be true, but I do want to talk about these two scenes. You can clearly see the similarities between the way Lila and Aglae talk to Kagami and Aurora. Both of them try to make Kagami and Aurora feel better by being overly positive and supportive, even calling themselves their friend. In doing so, Lila basically made Kagami feel worse about herself, and Aglae planted the idea in Aurora's head about what she could do in order to succeed. In Aglae's case, it's exactly what Lila or Chrysalis would do in order to get someone akumatized. This is really off topic, but the way Lila acts, and if we consider that Aglae might be Lila, she really reminds me of Nano from Girl from Nowhere. If you're interested in seeing a character who basically manipulates the situations around her by planting ideas in people's heads, not by forcing anyone to do the bad things they end up doing, then I recommend watching that show. It's actually really different from Miraculous, but if you find Lila interesting, then you'd find this show interesting too. And now that I really think about it, Nano and Lila are too similar. I kind of want to make another video comparing them now. Anyway, during Protection, Kagami also believed Lila's lie about Marinette being a manipulator, leading to her getting akumatized again in the episode.
I feel so weak for being a victim of my own feelings.
It must be so hard. But just know that I'll always be here for you.
Even though Lila manipulated Kagami in this episode in order to get her akumatized by Monarch, I also just think this was peak foreshadowing in how she manipulates people as Chrysalis. The way she instantly smirked when Kagami said she felt victim to her own emotions, Lila instantly knew that she could use the opportunity in order to get her akumatized, much like she does now when akumatizing people. She was just destined to become such a great butterfly miraculous holder. She even manipulated Gabriel into akumatizing her, showing how much power she held even before she possessed the butterfly miraculous. She already had such a strong ability to manipulate people and their emotions.
Manipulators like her always manage to lie their way out of trouble. And of course, Adrian would stand up for her. Toxic people like that are dangerous. Oh, Kagami, no! You mustn't let yourself get so upset. Not you. You're too perfect.
I know Lila said, "You're too perfect," because that's like the whole theme with Kagami, or at least that was. That Kagami wanted to be perfect and Lila tried manipulating her by saying she and Adrian were perfect for each other and all that. But I feel like the way Lila called her perfect here, and the way she smiled about it too, is like her saying she's the perfect Akuma victim. And this makes sense for what I'm about to say in a bit. Kagami later confronted her, telling Lila even though she didn't know why she said those things about Marinette, She knew she was wrong about her. Despite that, she continued to care for both Marinette and Lila and wished to continue her friendship with Lila as long as her friendship was genuine and wasn't used against Marinette.
But you won't use me against her. I am not a puppet.
Lila confirmed that their friendship was genuine and she wanted to express her feelings openly, but unknown to Kagami, Lila was smirking during their hug. Kagami very firmly says that she won't let herself be manipulated by Lila, and I know that would let anyone else know that, yeah, she won't be manipulated again by Lila, but the only reason I think that this isn't true is because they end up staying friends anyway. I don't think they would have stayed friends for no reason, at least by a writer's point of view. If it were true that Lila would have nothing to do with Kagami again, they would have stopped being friends. But to me it's so specific, for lack of a better word, for them to stay friends, that it makes me doubt that Kagami won't be manipulated again. I learned that things like this in the show aren't just there to be there. This will come back, and I have a feeling this all points to Lila including Kagami in a plan to hurt Marinette. After all, that scene where Lila basically lied to Kagami about not wanting to use their friendship to sabotage Marinette is all the proof that that is exactly the direction Lila wants to go in, as seen by her smiling at the viewers. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first and only time a character has broken the fourth wall in this show. At least in a way that really feels like it's trying to tell us something important. I know there was that moment in the Origins episode where Cat Noir broke the fourth wall, but this doesn't tell us anything. So yeah, that's my theory. Lila will manipulate Kagami again, using her against Marinette or Ladybug and Cat Noir, or both. Whether Kagami will be used in one of Lila's plans this season, or maybe the next, since apparently there might be 14 seasons in this show, who knows. By saying Kagami will become evil, I mean a lot of different things. She might become evil in the sense that she'll be on the wrong side and help Chrysalis against Marinette or Ladybug and Cat Noir, or both, and she might do this knowingly or unknowingly. Seeing how Lila was able to manipulate Kagami before into thinking Marinette was a bad person, who's to say she won't be able to do it again? Or who's to say Lila won't manipulate Kagami into thinking Ladybug is a bad person? My point is that I think Kagami will end up getting manipulated in some way. She'll team up against Marinette or Ladybug, and this might lead her to going through a crazy character arc. It might be something like Chloe's, where Chloe started off as an antagonist, then she was redeemed, then unredeemed. Kagami also started out as a type of antagonist, then she was redeemed. So if she goes down a villainous path due to Lila's manipulation, she could go either way. She might just turn evil, or she might just turn good again in the end. I think this would be really interesting considering she's really interconnected with Felix and the Aggressed now. Felix was an anti-hero, and he honestly might still be. It would be interesting if Kagami ended up going to the wrong side and Felix having to help her switch sides again. Or since she's so connected to the Aggressed now, and she could give Lila very valuable information, the stakes would be really high. I just think the situation raises a lot of potential, and if the show really ends up going down this route, I would be really excited.